Yo, what is up everybody? Welcome back to the Stone Bros channel, and where in today's video I wanted to do a simple review of the Dart Zone Spectrum. Now I bought this thing about a week ago maybe, so in this review I'm not gonna go over that much like the practical stuff like there being a Picatinny rail up here, but more gonna talk about how it is for a casual nerfer who doesn't have 1,000 other nerf guns. And at the end of the video I will also be comparing it to the nerf Stryfe, which I've had for quite a few years now. So let's get into it. Now to start off, one of the things I actually really like about this thing is all the stuff you get with. Now obviously you get a 10 round magazine with, you also get with a scope. Now I choose to run it without a scope just because while it is actually a really good scope for like aiming and stuff, for nerf wars it just kind of hinders the view, so I just kind of go without it. And then you also get this foregrip, which I really like because you can have it either in this position, or if you want, you can bring it down to the stable position, which I use typically when I fire at targets just. But yeah, for the most part, I just run without that, as well as the scope, like just pretty much the core blaster. I do have the stock though, which is obviously collapsible. You can like choose if you want to have it like back here, or if you want to have it like all the way to out here, I think. Not the longest stock. It could be a little bit longer, but for the most part, it does work pretty well. Now, if we're talking about just straight up performance, this thing performs very good. 6 AA batteries, and it performs like 90 FPS. But once again, I don't really care too much about like exactly how hard it fires. If I can shoot this thing quick, and it shoots decently hard, and actually where I aim, that's good enough for me. That's kind of what I want from a dart flaming blaster. Now I will say one of the complaints I do have is that I would be very willing to spend a little more money to get another magazine. Like I happen to have a 12 round magazine from the Retaliator, which I'm super thankful for, because otherwise it would be kind of boring. You just shoot 10 darts and then you're done. But I've been shooting with multiple mags now, which is pretty nice. The mag actually, if we go back to something like a more, casual perspective, nerf magazines do work very well in this blaster. And the 10 round magazine here that's included also works with nerfs. However, it is a little bit more friction, as you can see here. It's kind of like basically you can tell a little bit. It's a little bit of friction when you pull it out. Yep, we have officially pulled a Coop 772 move. Good one, Melvin, good one. But yeah, like I said, I haven't had any major inconveniences with shooting this thing with nerf mags and putting this magazine into a nerf. However, I will say this design choice is super annoying. Like, it looks super cool, right? And I'm kind of happy they have it, but it's just when I try to speed run, it got caught on the side. Let's try again. Oh, it got caught on the other side. It's just, it can get stuck on like little things, which is just a very big sort of inconvenience, and really makes it a little bit harder to put in. I hate my life. It does have an access door back here, obviously, on this side, and if it is pulled back, the trigger will not work. However, it does actually work without a magazine, so I guess if you're if you've got a tiny kid and you're trying to buy this thing for them, make sure they don't put in their fingers into like this whole feeding system. It shouldn't be a big deal because I can't even reach up there, but it definitely, if you got long fingers, there is a risk that you could run into some problems. In terms of being compact, obviously as small as it is with the stock is this, but you can also completely take it off. And it has this different stock, which is for the Dart Zone blasters essentially. You can see side by side, this is kind of how they are. So you can see this one's slightly longer, obviously because of the muzzle, but essentially the same thing apart from this extra barrel. Now it wouldn't of course be a nerf video without showing this thing fire. So I'll show you a little bit of footage of me firing this thing, and then I'll conclude with essentially comparing it to the Stryfe in terms of value. For the sake of this video, we are using the nerf 12 round magazine just because the 10 round doesn't feed that well with actual nerf darts. Yeah, we're gonna start off with some nerf darts and we'll move on to the waffle heads as well with both of these blasters, starting with the Stryfe. Okay, so I switched to the 10 round Dart Zone magazine instead for both of these because we're anyway just using Dart Zone darts. Alright, so now we're gonna do the exact same thing, but this time with the Dart Zone. So what did you think? The difference in power is definitely notable, both when shooting slowly but hard, and when you're shooting faster but not as hard, obviously. This thing can definitely both spray and shoot better than the Stryfe. So at the end of the day, coming from a casual nerfer, which one of these blasters are gonna bring you more joy? Well, I bought both of these blasters for the same price, but I do have a little bit of a caveat. The attachments included with this one is really cool. I left the grip over there, but they're good and they're gonna have you really enjoying this blaster and allowing you to customize it. However, there are limits. Because of Dart Zone being quite new to the foam flinging area, they pretty much offer like 3 stocks or something like that. So in terms of customizability, if you have a ton of nerf attachments and you love your stock, you bought a custom barrel, I still say go for the Stryfe, because while it does have a significant improvement in performance with the Dart Zone one, the nerf Stryfe is still gonna bring you quite a bit of joy, and this thing still fires relatively good. That being said, if you're pretty much looking to get into the electrical blasters, maybe you don't have that many nerf stuff, such as myself, I would definitely pick the Dart Zone one. It's bigger, it looks cooler, it has like cool attachments included, and it's just super fun to shoot. I mean, this thing shoots incredible. But the thing I do want to say is that you should definitely get Dart Zone darts. Because if you're using nerf darts with pretty much any blaster, they're gonna be worse than using Dart Zone darts. The waffle heads are harder, which means they're better in terms of feeding, but they're also shooting a whole lot better. They're shooting more accurately, they can shoot faster. They're a very fun type of dart, and I definitely think you should get them. But that pretty much sums up the video. Coming from a casual nerfer, whichever one of these two you're getting, you're gonna have a fun time. But if you're looking just at like, is this thing worth it for the money? Absolutely. Absolutely. You're definitely gonna get value for money if you buy the Dart Zone Spectrum. But that is the end of this review. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. Maybe it helped you out. Make sure to subscribe for a bunch of other videos too. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.